to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to The Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. It is Saturday afternoon, 11 o'clock here on the coast in San Diego, California. We are powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks, brought to you by SIR Music Equipment Rental, where if you need to get gear at that special gig or if you just need it for your corporate event, SIR has been the leader in delivering rental equipment for, well, since the early 70s, I think late 60s, early 70s. And, on top of that, if you want to buy gear, Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com, pitbullaudio.com is where you would pick it up because they just want you to play it loud. Even on the violin, they want you to play it loud. And Stars Align, these folks are doing some amazing things here in San Diego. And also they're starting to branch out over different cities like Las Vegas as well as Los Angeles. They have training in schools for kids that are trying to discover the passion of music inside, and they're going to underserved neighborhoods where they can really make a difference. And so we really appreciate them, and we're trying to sponsor them. They've got a big event coming up in July, so that's going to be a fun thing here in San Diego if you're around this area. Well, we've got we always have special guests, but this one's kind of fun because this gentleman has had such a tremendous career. He's created many companies, and he's going to be talking about one specifically today, but he's also one of the most accomplished string players in the world. He's just an amazing man. He's brought a very special friend with him with his a piece of gear, his violin. And this is Mr. Albert Stern. Say hello, Albert.
Hi, how are you?
You're actually an old radio man we were talking about that, so you know this world real well. Albert is the owner and inventor of Acoustic-Grip. I wanted to make sure I said that correctly. Acoustic-Grip is this amazing product that really gives the chance of the violin or the string instrument, cello, what have you, a chance to breathe but rest it very comfortably. And we're going to talk a bit about that in the second segment. This segment, Albert, I'd like to find out about you. Kind of, you've got this kind of, like almost Ernest Hemingway life in the music where you've done so many different things. You've pretty much, you've been a player, you've been a marketing genius, you've been an inventor. You have one of the best recording studios out there. So, we've got a lot of things to talk about. Let's start from where the passion for music started, because that's really a good start.
I came from a family of musicians. My father and my mother were both came from musical families. They played violin, viola, cello, piano, and when I was 5 years old, my dad, who was a doctor, brought home a tiny little violin and put it under my chin, and he said, "You're going to be a violinist," and I've never looked backwards since.
Well, I'm glad he did that. That's pretty awesome. Was it what type of violin was it at that time? Was it a pretty heavy?
No, they make violins in all sizes, and as a matter of fact, a lot of Asian children now start violin at 3 to 5 years old, and it's usually about an eighth size violin.
Okay, so was one of the smaller sizes for you?
Oh yeah, they make them exactly the same configuration, but they're this is called a full size violin I'm holding.
Yeah,
and they make them down to eighth and even smaller.
Yeah,
16th.
That's awesome. So you started playing very young, and you probably at that time we had a lot of music training in schools. We don't get that very much. That's why Stars Align is really important.
Well, I started with private teachers, and when I was 7 years old, I was admitted to the Juilliard Preparatory School, and at 10, I was giving concerts.
Wow. So you've been already a professional before you could even shave.
Quite a bit before.
And where was it? Where were some of the symphonies that you were playing with at that time?
I was participating in youth contests, and they'd have openings to do a concerto or whatever. We moved from New York to Los Angeles when I was about 10 years old, and shortly thereafter I won a television contest to perform with the Long Beach Symphony, LA Philharmonic, and several others.
Wow.
And I enjoyed that very much. And then when I was 15, I went back to Juilliard and studied with some of the greatest pedagogues of all time.
Wow. That is amazing. So you were already going to were you still in high school going to a college course for music, or were you already pretty much out of high school by that time?
I had graduated high school. I had taken some advanced courses where I accelerated.
That's amazing. So you were really on a very fast trajectory to be, one of the most preeminent players here. And so you started playing with the symphony at that time. Were you writing? What were some of the things that you were doing at that point?
Well, basically, I was doing the classical violin literature, Sibelius, Tchaikovsky, Brahms, Beethoven, etc.
And which one did you find was the most inspiring composer for you?
I love the Brahms concerto, and naturally Tchaikovsky is amazing, but there were many they all had something to contribute, and naturally at the top of the list is always Paganini and the things he composed.
Yeah, and I need to learn more about classical music. I know a little bit, not enough. I have to say I'm really kind of a novice when it comes down to that. But obviously that's where music kind of at least what we know today really kind of came from that, and the combination of the spirituals, or like what you were playing earlier when you were warming up, Amazing Grace. That really kind of the soul of music, I think, comes from those two areas. Now, you're an inventor too. I mean, you're a player, and we're going to talk a bit more about all the playing, and you've been the conductor of many orchestras. When did you start inventing things? Because I imagine it's pretty early too.
Not that early. When I was 20 years old, somebody gave me a horse.
Okay.
And that was the start. Well, actually, the start, I was born in the Bronx, and there are no horses in the Bronx in those days. But a fellow came by with a camera and a Shetland pony. And I was about 9 months old, my parents told me, and the other children had never seen a horse or anything, and they were running away, and I was running towards the horse. And they took the photograph, and they couldn't get me off. I wrapped my fingers around the mane of that horse, and it's been a passion of mine ever since.
Wow. And so at 20 years old, what did you invent?
I hadn't come out with a formal invention yet, but a few years later, I learned a lot about horses, and I was one of the first to use horse psychology. As a matter of fact, I had the first article because
first horse whisperer, folks.
Yes, I was worked on horse whispering, and I invented a bitless bridle that didn't go in their mouth, was very good control, but gentle. And it was called the Horse Perfector, Dunal Horse Perfector.
So, hey, folks, be a musician, be an inventor. That's kind of what I'm taking away from this segment. So, now that you've been a player, you've also done some inventing for the equestrian arena. When did you start to learn to be a conductor, and who are some of the symphonies that you've been able to?
Well, I didn't actually conduct. I do some now, but mostly my career has been as a violin soloist, a concert violin soloist.
Okay. And, what we like to do, we got about 1 minute and 50 seconds. Tell me, like, one of the early memories that just kind of sticks out from you, that one thing that said, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. This is just too amazing. I know there's many probably.
I studied with probably the greatest violin teacher of all time at Juilliard, called Ivan Galamian, and I was assistant to his premier lady named Dorothy DeLay. And one summer, he had a summer camp called Meadowmount, and my very, very dear friend was Michael Rabin, who is probably the preeminent and greatest violin of the last century. And Michael came up to visit me at Meadowmount, and he said, let me see what you're using for a shoulder rest. And I was using a device that clamped on. It was invented 78 years ago. And Michael said, let me see that. And he ran out of my room and threw it as hard as he could into a field. And he says, don't ever use those. They suppress the sound, and they're horrible. They're like a crutch. So I said, Michael, you're killing me. I have a lesson with Galamian at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So he says, don't worry. And he rolled up a face cloth that he got out of the bathroom. And he says, just put this under your chin. And I couldn't play because I was used to the crutch. So I practiced all night with that stupid thing, and by morning I was able to survive the lesson. Galamian wasn't forgiving if you didn't play perfectly. And then I didn't like the washcloth, and I got a sponge, but that kept falling off. And I worked on it for a while, and then I invented the Acoustogrip, which holds on with simply air, doesn't clutch, and when you, besides everything else, it's very comfortable.
We're going to talk about that in the second segment. That's a good segue, sir. Great story. This is the Changing Stage radio show powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks with Mr. Albert Stern. Thanks, SIR, Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. The star is the line. We'll be right back in a few short minutes for this man's amazing career.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you've helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
In the military, things can change in an instant. The Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on VinVillage Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. It's the second segment of the Changing Stage radio show, powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks, brought to you by SIR Music Equipment Rental, Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. They just want you to play it loud, even when that violin, that $1 million violin, play it loud. And of course, Stars Align, where they are educating children all around San Diego, now Las Vegas, as well as Los Angeles. And we are here with Mr. Albert Stern, and he is the owner and inventor of Acoustic Grip. And we're going to, he kind of had a good segue story. He was talking about how necessity is the mother of invention, and a very, iconic player throughout his clamp-on grip, because he said that thing pretty much sucks in the kind of the Reader's Digest version of it. And, you were playing with a wrapped up talon. That didn't work for you either. So now you've invented really a remarkable product for any string instrument, because it's cellos and others. So tell us a little bit about that, Albert.
Well, Acoustic Grip is based on a formula of attaching to the violin without any adhesives, without any clamps, just using air pockets, not air suction cups, but just pockets. When compressed, hold on to the instrument. They come off and on. And talking about children, we have children's sizes that are aimed at young children and intermediate. And it's so comfortable that it is used universally, and like the clamping kind where they need a separate case, Acoustic Grip compresses in the violin case, and the kids don't have to fiddle with it. They can play it any time they want, and it just stays on all the time. Our large size shoulder rests actually boost the sound volume of a stringed instrument from anywhere from 23 to 28%. And they have wonderful acoustical properties. Now,
can I ask you, how does that do that? This is I've got them. I learned a lesson, guys. Do not touch the actual part that touches the violin, because your fingers will put oil all over it and stop the pockets from grabbing. But it's got like a 3-layered foam, acoustic foam type of design. And you're saying that this actually improves the sound quality?
Yeah, much more so. When you clamp wood, you stop vibrations.
Yeah, that's definitely
and
not a good
in
thing.
addition to that, they're made out of metal, and they damage the sides of the violin.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned
they're
your
also,
color.
we get thousands and thousands of testimonials from people that say they don't have sore shoulders, sore collarbone, and the comfort is amazing as well. And once you try one, you never go back to the clamping type.
Now, hear that, string folks? You make sure. So I'm shouting out to Tu and to Melissa as you guys listen to this. These are two players that we work with, amazing players. So you guys, maybe Albert will give me one or two of these so you guys can try it out and test it out. But, what was the process in discovering how to make this? What were you looking at? Did you know that you wanted to kind of go towards this foam thing, or did you test out different types of technologies first?
After I got rid of the washcloth, I got a piece of foam, and that seemed more comfortable. But it didn't attach.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to use glues or adhesives because nobody wants to ruin the varnish on their violin. And for many years, I was using the other, but when I'd pause, it would fall off my shoulder. And then I started experimenting with some ways of attaching it without adhesives, without glue, and I came up with these air pockets, which are an integral part of the product. And in addition, I love beautiful design, and they're designed like a violin. As a matter of fact, a Guadagnini violin that I owned, which was Dorothy DeLay's personal violin.
Wow. So, folks, what we're going to do here is, so you can see these, obviously we're going to have links on the WS Radio page when we post this here next week. Also, go onto our Facebook at www.facebook.com, The Changing Stage, / The Changing Stage, and check it out there, because we're going to have these pictures of this amazing product here. And it's very cool. It's very cute. They come in different sizes, which you mentioned as well. The bigger one helps to create resonance. And, when you went through this process, so being a musician, obviously business has not necessarily musicians aren't known for their business acumen. What were some of the things that you did to kind of get this process rolling for you from a business side? And we were talking earlier about the patents. You were one of you're one of the successful patents, because that doesn't always happen, because there's just so many that are out there. So tell us a bit about that experience.
Well, I manufactured it or started making it in small quantities for my own personal use, and then friends wanted it, and we posted a website, acousticgrip.com, and just social media, and it went viral all over the world. We ship to every country in the world, from Finland to Turkey to Asia. We ship about 10,000 to Asia and China all the time. And
that's very unique, because the products are made here in the U.S.
Absolutely.
We're actually reversing it now, so that's awesome to hear.
The containers leaving Long Beach Port are heading towards Asia instead of the other way around.
Now, do you find that maybe, because I know you have the patent, but it's not always easy to maintain that type of, secure, business intellectual property. Do you find that maybe in some places in Asia they try to duplicate this or try to?
No doubt. But it's like any product. If you brand it, and it's branded Acoustic Grip or AG, and we have copyrights on that. Hopefully, people will want the real McCoy. And the other thing is, China loves it because they love their children, and they know if a kid puts it in their mouth, they're not going to get toxins.
Yeah, that's true.
And we certify, because every country in Europe demands that our products are toxin-free. And they're unique products in that they're made out of acoustical materials, too. It's not just some rubber packing that you'd find in a carton.
Yeah, it's very much like the foam you'd find in a studio, like what we have around here.
That, but also other resonance factors that are endemic to the violins and viola and cello needs.
Yeah, exactly. Because as it is, it's got a 3-layered design, which is.
We also.
In fact, Paul, take a picture of this.
We also manufactured in an all charcoal version, which is lesser cost and more universally available for people that are on limited budgets. It starts out at $14.95, which is a very nominal price. Most violinists change their strings every 6 months and rehair their bows for $100.
Yeah.
So it's not a throwaway product. If you take care of it, it'll last minimum of 6 months and some over a year.
Wow. So there in the 3 layers, let's kind of break the technology down a little bit, because this one's now the larger form. This is for a cello, the one I'm looking at?
Yes, it is. And it has a colored layer on the top, on the cello, which is more for identity and et cetera. We make a cello, one that has special formation, so it's easier to reach the high notes on a cello.
Yes.
And then we make one for the violin, which is called the soloist, and that has a more brilliant violin sound. And we also manufacture another product, which you're holding,
Yeah, I was
which
gonna
is
bring it up.
called Bow Grip. And this is a very simple but unique device, and it easily slips on the bow. It prevents children, especially from their thumbs slipping through. And adults, if you're giving a concert, you might have some perspiration, and it prevents and better staccato martelet and smoother bowing.
Yeah. Does this also add to the quality? I don't know. I'm not familiar with how much resonance the actual bow has
Well,
to it, the wood, I should say.
The bow is a very unique instrument in itself, and although it doesn't have particular sound quality when you bow straight and in the correct position, that helps your sound quality because you're performing better.
Yeah. That is definitely the case. And how much do these go for?
I think the retail price is $4.95.
$4.95
for a pair.
For a pair. So all very reasonable, especially if you're going to protect your $1 million.
Well, some bows are worth a fortune. I just set a world record on a Picot bow, Dominic Picot, made in 1840, and the bow alone brought over $200,000.
Wow. Yes, folks, instruments can get up there in price for sure. So let's give the how they can find out about the product. What was the URL again?
They can go to a retail store like a violin shop or a guitar center, or we're distributed throughout the whole world. And we're the number one now after only 2 years on the market of shoulder rests. And we have distribution, and they can go to any shop or they can buy it online from some of our distributors. Or if they don't have some sort of a retail shop, they can get them online at acousticgrip.com or Char Music, one of our distributors,
Awesome.
etc.
This has been the second segment of the Changing Stage radio show with Albert Stern. We're talking about the amazing world of classical and string instruments as well as gear, because we're always about gear. We'll be right back in a few short minutes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
It's the third segment of the Changing Stage radio show. My name is Florentino Buenaventura, and we are powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio. And of course, we've got some great sponsors, some good friends, actually. We've got Jim over there at SIR Music Equipment Rental here in San Diego. They provide all the gear for all the big concerts. They're out at the Del Mar Fair right now. They're taking care of all those folks there, as well as we've got Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. Calvin and his team are making it happen for folks. If you're in San Diego, go down to National City location, and then of course Stars Align, teaching the kids in the underserved areas, as well as in some of the more affluent areas. They've got schools all around. And yes, this has been a great day with Mr. Albert Stern. He's the owner of Acoustic Grip, as well as a preeminent violinist. And we are very blessed today because Albert is here. He's going to be playing a couple of selections, his own arrangements. These are his imaginations of a couple of classical songs, and they're very, very moving because they're spirituals in many ways. So the first one's going to be Amazing Grace, which is my favorite. Take it away, Albert. That was amazing, Grace, and that was amazing. I feel like the Frankenstein monster who gets tamed by this beautiful music. This is amazing. We've got another selection, Going Home, another spiritual. Take it away, Albert. Yeah, man, that was awesome. Albert Stern, folks, a tremendous talent, and I kind of feel blessed in many ways, especially that I have a radio show we can get like a private concert with like one of the most amazing violinists ever. That was great, sir. You know, and you know, the tone, obviously this is radio and we can't really represent it as great as we hear it here. This is coming from a very powerful instrument that it's worth, you know, quite a bit of money. So tell us a bit about the instrument you're playing.
This instrument is called a Presenda, and the great violins that most people know are Stradivarius, Bergonzi, and Guarnerius. Mm-hmm. And these were made in the 15, 16, and Stradivarius in the late 16 and early 1700s. And then there was a lull in violin making, and in a city called Turin, near the border of France, a young farmer became interested in violin making, amazing in itself. And he apprenticed for a very famous French violin maker, and in about the year of 1820, he started making violins, and they were magical. And all over Europe and wherever violins were, everybody wanted Presendas. They didn't want those old, scratched up and cracked Stradivariuses. So he became preeminent at that time, and he is still to this day the preeminent violinist. This Prascinda I have was an early one. Mine is 1827 and is a pristine violin, and I'll rank it with any Stradivarius I've ever owned, and I've owned the Mendelssohn Strad and the Stretton Guarneri del Gesù. But my 1827 is a fabulous violin in perfect condition and has great provenance, which is the history and the certification. This one is made in 1823 and belongs to a wonderful violinist named Elizabeth Pitcairn, and she is the owner of the Mendelssohn Stradivarius, which is one of the great Stradivarius in existence today, and this is her second instrument. This is a wonderful Prascinda.
And that one was based on a movie was based on the life.
Yes, it was called The Red Violin, and it's based on Elizabeth's Red Violin, and it is a fabulous instrument. And actually, I rank her as one of the top 3 female violinists in the world today.
Wow.
And a dear friend, and uses Acoustogrip.
And that's what it's all about. In fact, you show that if you go to the acoustogrip.com website, you get a chance to see you demonstrating that your products with that particular violin. This has been the third segment of the Changing Stage radio show powered by the mighty WS Radio Network, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio. We've been here with Albert Stern. He's been playing some great selections. We've got a fourth segment. We're going to be talking more. We're going to talk a little bit about his amazing recording studio, and then we're going to have a call in at that time from a player that we were great friends with. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children.
After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at which.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Which.com.
information, news, and entertainment on demand.
Welcome to The Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Yes, it's the fourth segment of the Changing Stage radio show. We never have enough time, but we always have a good time when we're not having enough time. And we are here with Mr. Albert Stern, of course, powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks and brought to you by Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. Really good friends and just an amazing company to buy your gear from. And maybe we should check into if they have acoustic grip, because if they don't, they need to get it. And then SIR Music Equipment Rental, where you can just rent your gear. And then finally, Stars Align with Margaret and Larry, those folks over there that are really helping to bring music to the youth. And they do everything from string instruments to pop gear, like guitars and everything. So with that said, what's kind of interesting, even though you do classic, you actually play on pop records too. You just did a track yesterday, right? Tell us a little bit about it. You own a studio, a pretty amazing studio.
Yes, it's called Morning View Studios, and I believe Incubus, their breakout album was named Morning View, and that was recorded at our studio. John Mayer, System of a Down, Jason Mraz, and Black Eyed Peas, and my favorite vocalist, I shouldn't say that, one of my favorite vocalists, but she is my favorite, is Fergie. Yeah. And she was just at our studio. It's a residence studio, so the artist stays with us. Yeah. And we have a world-renowned recording studio.
Over in Malibu, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
We overlook the coast, and our control room has a beautiful view of the ocean and the waves breaking.
Okay, I know where we're going to record next, Paul. and so this last project she did, she knew that you were this amazing violinist, and she asked you to come in and play some tracks. What was that experience like?
It's wonderful. I've done quite a bit in the past, and I love all genres of music. My first delve into that was a recording I recorded at Abbey Road Studio in London.
Oh, man.
And Willie Nelson, when he got a hold of it, one of the tracks I did was Crazy. I did it for two violins. I overdubbed, and Willie was so generous in his compliment. He said it was the best arrangement of Crazy. And I said, really, Willie? I've had a lot of competition. So he said, no, Albert, yours is the best. Anyway.
So all the songs I've heard before. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it was called Road to Love. And I've done Indian music, Native American, based on authentic themes. And I made arrangements and CDs of those as well. So I really love all genres. And hip-hop was a challenge, but I'm glad I did it. And Fergie and her producer and everything were excited about it.
That's awesome. See, folks, you never know where life's going to lead. We were just talking about this. If your dad didn't put that violin in your chin and your shoulder, who would have thought? You might have been a dentist, and then we would not be here right now. So, did you make the studio for yourself for recording? And it's got one of the biggest rooms in the country, right?
Well, in Malibu in Southern California, it's an amazing acoustical environment. It's actually our grand salon, and it holds 350 for concerts and recitals.
Wow.
But it was amazingly acoustically designed. It has a 3.5-story height and 75 feet long. And I'm told by a lot of producers that it has the best drum sounds in the entire world.
Wow.
Maybe the entire universe, one of them said.
That you had 10 top designers you mentioned before. That's pretty amazing that you had that. You had all these people, because we just had John Stork, who is pretty much been like one of the pioneers of acoustical architecture. He built, like I said, Jimi Hendrix studio. He also built the stadium in Brazil as well as the Olympic Center for Brazil. He's got offices around the world. And then, of course, Lincoln Center, the jazz room over there. So he really kind of gave us an enlightening discussion on mathematics and studio design. And it's not rocket science, what he would say, but it is very concise and it's very, and you have to be able to adjust to the environment. You got to take the measurements.
That's very important, and it has to be adjustable to the artist. We can tune our big room, so that's a valuable asset.
Wow.
And even like if they want more trashy music, which they call trashy, where you have dual facing walls that give a little bit more reverb. And then our big room has amazing acoustics. The sound actually flowers.
Wow. Well, we've got a call came in. I'm going to have us bring in Tu Ho is a violinist. She's also a vocalist, and she has a couple of questions or a question for you. Tu, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Tu, meet Albert Stern. Did you get a chance to hear him play?
Yes, I did. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Mr. Stern.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I think I played violin in my childhood, and I now play it as a hobby. And I would love to know from an entrepreneurial side of things when you came up with the concept of the acoustic grip and how it developed and improved over time, as well as if you could tell us a little bit about the obstacles you faced over the years to finally perfect this product.
Well, design is very important. I love beautiful design, and acoustic grip for violin and viola is basically shaped like a violin, and it's made of acoustical foam. And one of the basic obstacles was how to get it to position and stay on the violin. And I didn't want to use adhesives that would take the varnish off. Everybody loves their violin and they don't want to see marks on it. And we developed, that was a difficult thing, to develop a layer on the acoustical foam that would adhere. And we came up with a concept of air pockets that, when compressed, just clung to the violin. It goes on and off. But that was the biggest obstacle. And also finding something that was ergonomically comfortable and unobtrusive, and we did that as well. But it was not easy, but I'm very happy to say we accomplished it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, too, if we're I think we have one. I don't know if he's going to let one stay here, but we might have one for you when you get back into town. Tu's over in San Francisco. She moonlights as a doctor. Go figure, right?
We have a lot of violinist doctors. They seem to gravitate towards that. As a matter of fact, when I did an album called Road to Love, I heard it in every doctor's office I ever went to.
That is awesome. So we got about a minute left. Albert, can you share with the listening audience, especially the new ones coming up, what would be that thing to inspire them to know what they need to know about the music business?
Well, everybody loves music. I don't think there are very many. And it depends if you're talking about youth learning to play and ambition. There are so many avenues, chamber music, pop music, and even if you have enough talent and enough perseverance, soloists. And when I was at Juilliard, I was fortunate enough to have a good constitution, and you got to work hard. I practiced 8 to 10 hours a day, every day. And there's a famous story in New York. There's always a man outside the studio.
Oh, I hated to cut you short on that, because I hear the story was going to be even awesome. There's never enough time, Albert. I really appreciate you coming down all the way from Malibu.
Hang up and then.
Look like two hung out. This has been the Changing Stage radio show on a lovely Saturday afternoon here in San Diego, powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks, brought to you by pitbullaudio.com, SIR, and Stars Align. Again, thank you, Acoustic Grip and Albert. Take a listen or take a look to our site on Monday because it should be up as a on-demand. We'll be back next week.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Progressive Medical.
Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and you know, Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.